Everyone knows the movies, but what about the games? From arcade classics to modern storytelling masterpieces, comic books have given us some of the best gaming experiences of all time. Here are 15 video games based on comics that you absolutely need to play. We have to kick things off with Batman. Arkham City, which is widely considered the gold standard for superhero games. Rocksteady didn't just make a game, they built a simulator for being the Dark Knight. From the gritty Gotham atmosphere to the combat system that everyone else copied, this is absolute perfection. Swinging over to the Marvel side, Marvel's Spider-Man completely nailed what it feels like to be Peter Parker. Insomniac Games captured the heart of the character and the thrill of traversing New York City perfectly. It honestly feels like playing through a high-budget Stan Lee run that you never want to end. If you want a story that's a bit darker, Injustice 2 delivers a narrative that puts most Justice League movies to shame. This isn't just a fighting game, it's a gritty Elseworlds tale where Superman breaks bad. The gear system is addictive, and the clash between heroes feels genuinely heavy and consequential. Speaking of surprisingly great stories, Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy was the sleeper hit we didn't know we needed. Forget the MCU version. This game argues that this team dynamic is the best. The banter is non-stop, the soundtrack is killer, and the emotional beats hit harder than you'd ever expect. On the strategic side of things, Marvel's Midnight Suns takes a different approach by mixing XCOM tactics with card mechanics. It dives deep into the supernatural side of Marvel lore. The best part? You actually get to hang out and build friendships with characters like Ghost Rider and Blade in between battles. Moving away from capes and tights, The Wolf Among Us brings the Fables comics to life in a stylish noir mystery. You play as the big bad wolf trying to keep fairy tale creatures in check in 1980s New York. The cel-shaded art is gorgeous, and the choices you make actually matter. Another emotional masterpiece is The Walking Dead, Season 1, which completely revitalized the adventure genre. It ignores the action to focus purely on the psychological toll of the zombie apocalypse. It mirrors the grim, black and white tone of the comics perfectly and will absolutely break your heart by the end. For pure, chaotic fun, Scott Pilgrim vs. the World. The game is a stunning beat-em-up that looks exactly like the graphic novels come to life. It's packed with deep cuts and references that only readers will catch, all wrapped up in a retro package with an amazing chiptune soundtrack. Taking it back to the arcade era, Marvel vs. Capcom 2 remains the holy grail of 2D fighters. It brought an insane roster of X-Men and Avengers to fight Capcom's finest. It's fast, flashy, and represents the absolute peak of the 90s comic book fighting game craze. Keeping that retro arcade vibe alive, TMNT. Shredder's Revenge is a modern love letter to those classic brawlers. While it leans into the 80s cartoon aesthetic, the movesets and deep lore cuts are pure comic book joy. Grab some friends, order a pizza, and mash some buttons. Before the movies ruined the concept, Alien vs. Predator showed us exactly how this crossover should look. Based on the Dark Horse comics, this arcade beat-em-up lets you play as predators and cybernetic soldiers fighting xenomorph hordes. It is an absolute tragedy that this never got a proper console port. Exploring a world without Batman, Gotham Knights lets the extended Bat family finally take center stage. While it has a different feel from the Arkham games, patrolling the streets as Red Hood or Nightwing offers a unique vibe. It's an RPG-heavy take on the mythos, where the sidekicks prove they can protect the city. Diving into the grid of the 2000s, The Darkness is a violent, underappreciated gem. You wield demonic tentacles alongside your guns in a story adapted from the Top Cow comics. It nails the gloomy, mafia-meets-supernatural vibe perfectly and features some incredibly unique first-person shooter mechanics. For a truly unique visual style, 13 is a shooter that literally plays out inside comic panels. Based on a Belgian graphic novel, it uses boom sound bubbles and cel shading to create a style that still looks cool today. Just make sure you play the original version, not the buggy remake. Finally, we have the breakout hit Dispatch, a superhero workplace comedy from the original Telltale veterans. Instead of fighting on the front lines, you play a fallen hero managing a chaotic team of misfits from a desk. It's a brilliant mix of strategy and choice-driven storytelling that deconstructs the entire genre.